Hi, this is the Business Guy. A U.S. citizen with several offshore bank accounts just appealed his case to the U.S. Supreme Court, and the highest court in the land agreed to hear his case. As a background, when a U.S. person has an offshore bank account, you have to report each year on a Foreign Bank and Financial Accounts, or FBAR form, which is required by the Bank Secrecy Act of 1970, BSA. Now, if you have several offshore accounts, you just list all of them. If, on the other hand, you have a U.S. bank account, the bank just reports to the U.S. for you every year, which many foreign banks do now too. So whether you have a domestic or offshore account, naturally the IRS wants to know about it, as anybody would who's in the tax collecting business. So here's the story. Alexandru Bittner is a businessman with dual citizenship. He has citizenship in the U.S. and he also has citizenship in Romania. He was living in Romania at the time, and naturally he needs to pay for a place to live, he needs to buy food, pay for a car, gas to run the car, and so on. So obviously, he's going to have one or more bank accounts to do that. However, he failed to report his interest in several foreign bank accounts, that is foreign to the U.S. They may have been local to him at the time. As a result, the Internal Revenue Service fined Bittner $2.72 million in civil penalties, or $10,000 for each unreported account each year from 2007 to 2011. So that's 5 years. So what happened? By the way, if you can click the like button, I'd appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't already to keep up to date. First, the IRS took him to the United States District Federal Court for the Eastern District of Texas. In Texas, the court denied Bittner's reasonable cause defense, being that he lived in Romania at the time and he didn't know he still had to fill out the form. As a result, they found him liable, but reduced the fine to only $50,000. So they held that the $10,000 maximum penalty is related to each failure to file an annual FBAR form, not for failure to report each account. Now, the IRS didn't like the ruling, so they appealed it. On appeal, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, located in New Orleans, Louisiana, affirmed the district court's denial of Bittner's defense and reversed the assessment of fines. That is, the Fifth Circuit reinstated the $2.72 million penalty, holding that each failure to report a qualifying foreign account constituted a separate reporting violation under the Bank Secrecy Act, and that the penalty applied on a per-account basis. And then again, Bittner appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court on February 28, 2022, and on June 21, 2022, the court accepted the case to its merits docket during the October 2022-2023 term. Now, that's pretty rare, since the Supreme Court only accepts about 1.7% of cases brought to them, so they tend to take cases that make major decisions that set case law precedents. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is get and maintain tax advice from an experienced licensed accountant. Keep in mind, it's not just that this was an offshore account, it's that he didn't file his forms with the Treasury Department. There are fines and penalties associated with U.S. account if you don't file your taxes and fill out the right forms in the right way at the right time. After all, a whole lot more people have to pay a whole lot more money in tax penalties and fines who only have U.S. accounts than offshore ones. The rules are just a bit different. I mean, I've had offshore bank accounts for probably 25 years, and I've never had to pay a fine or penalty for not filing the right forms at the right time, because I do my best to follow the rules, and I have professionals who keep my ducks in a row. So take advantage of offshore bank accounts. Inside of an offshore LLC, an offshore asset protection trust, you get tremendous advantages to shield your wealth from lawsuits. I mean, hey, if you can save $1 million or $5 million in a lawsuit by going offshore, take advantage of it. But we all have to follow the rules. So what do you think? Are these penalties meant to bring people to their financial knees? Or are they meant as gentle reminders? After all, he didn't fail to file the forms on purpose. It was just that he didn't know. Please tell me what you think in the comments below. And then please click like, subscribe, and share this video. See you next time. This is the Business Guy.